All right, Colts Nation, final preseason game in the books. 7 for 16 by Anthony Richardson. What do you think of that? Because let's put it like this. If we were not Colts fans, we would see 7 for 16 out of any other quarterback and be like, that's just not good. You can't have that. And if that fan base tried to explain to us that it was better than the numbers looked, we'd essentially probably defer to the argument. That is, I don't really care what it looked like, 7 for 16. You can't dismiss 45% completion percentage. And maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but it does raise an interesting discussion about how much do stats matter versus how much does it matter just what you're seeing. And I feel like it depends on the time of the season. For those of you who have not seen it yet, Zaire Franklin actually started a podcast. It's called The Trenches. And in that, he was asked about kind of how important these stats are in the preseason. And the way he put it is that preseason is far more about what it looks like than it is the stats. Now, of course, you can't just dismiss stats when somebody is going off, but in the preseason, it's more so about how it looks, a guy flashing, and then the numbers are more of a secondary deal because, the defenses aren't really playing the way they should. The offense isn't running their entire system, and everyone's kind of getting a watered-down version of the product. Both teams didn't prepare completely throughout the week for that specific team. It's just a different process during the preseason than it is the regular season. But Anthony Richardson showed us some of the good, and he showed us some of the bad as well. I thought it was really a mixed bag performance out of him, which is pretty much what we expect. So I'm going to try something different today, and I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to do it. It's possible this gets taken down because I'm going to go through every single drop back from Anthony Richardson and kind of show you what I'm seeing. I feel like I come on here so often. I give my opinions. I say, I'm watching this. This is what I'm seeing. But I feel like sometimes maybe it's just better to try to get that across with the actual footage. Again, not sure if this is even allowed. Pretty sure it's covered under fair use law, I believe, because I'm about to use this stuff for, I don't know, like education on some level, even though I'm not like an expert. I'm going to be using it for educational purposes. I think that I'm allowed to use it. If not, I'll find out because the episode's going to get taken down. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we saw from Anthony Richardson because I thought this game was much more telling than the first preseason game that he played. I feel like this is a bit more like what we're actually going to see from him during the regular season because we saw some of those ups and downs. And, we'll go from there. But before we do, my name is Justin. This right here is the Ride the Bench Colts cast. As always, go ahead, shoot the video a like if you're enjoying it. If you're returning and you've been here many, many times and you just keep watching me in my bedroom talking about the Indianapolis Colts from 800 miles away from the city in which they play, then right now is probably about the time in which you subscribe. But most importantly, just enjoy the show. So let me share my screen right here and just make sure that things are happening. Boom. Okay, you see that. Anthony Richardson versus Eagles, every drop back. I'll make sure to put the video in the description so you can maybe go watch it for yourself. But let's just go one by one here. I'm going to assume that everything goes well with this. Let me make sure there's no volume here. And let's go. So first drop back of the game. Let's take a look at it. Really love to see this right here out of Richardson. Listen, complete? No. Is there interference on this play? I don't know. But you just love to see Anthony Richardson get things started for the Indianapolis Colts with a throw down the field like this. This is just something we were not accustomed to seeing last year. Now, this is a play right here. I want you to see what's going on. Anthony Richardson, if you can see my mouse, standing strong in the pocket. So what you have is a safety right here. I think it's a safety. It's hard to tell. Point being is you're going to see him come down here to Josh Downs, right? As well as this linebacker right here. They're both going to take Josh Downs on this short hitch. Now you have this other linebacker who's going to take Drew Ogletree on this route. Anthony Richardson sees this play right because you're splitting this guy and you're splitting this guy. And Michael Pittman, by nature, has inside leverage on number 33 right here. So you're going to see how this develops and how Anthony Richardson sees it. Watch. He looks right here at Josh Downs, sees the safety, boom, comes back across, and here's your pocket right here. Now, Richardson's about to miss this throw big. He misses this throw real bad. This throw is going to end up open over here. This throw has to be right here. It has to be in this pocket right here. missed it, right? He has to put that throw lower as to where Pittman is not going to get decked and have to reach out for that ball. That throw has to come lower and it has to come more inside, but that's what Richardson was seeing there. He saw that right. He missed the throw, so I wanted to point that out. Next snap we have coming up right here. Okay, we have the crossers coming. This linebacker right here has to choose. This is a 3rd and 15. Quentin Nelson, who ends up getting called for a holding on this, should not have been called for a holding not because he didn't do the hold, but because Anthony Richardson, look, here's Kylan Granson coming across the field right now. Look, he got the look he wanted. The crossers come. The linebacker has to choose. He stops here on Pittman, makes a decision. Anthony Richardson is squared up and looking at Kylan Granson right now. Make the throw. Put it right here. Granson has space, as you'll see as this play continues. He probably ends up getting this 3rd down conversion because watch as Richardson runs and Granson goes up the field. Granson has this 1st down. He is moving. Look at all the space he has on this guy. Richardson had to throw this ball before he started rolling out. So look, now he comes. There's all Granson's space. That's Granson getting the 1st down. If Richardson had made this throw, right, hopefully I'm really right here, right as the cross. Look at the space. He should have never started running. He should have made that throw. Don't want to keep saying it, but he has to be better at getting that ball right there. Now, weeks like last week, we saw him really making these decisions decisively and really just getting right to it, This week, I thought there was a little more bouncing around in the pocket and a little less, precision or decisiveness with his passes. Right here. This, I believe, is a beautiful throw right here. It's a great rep. Boom. Look at that. Great throw by Richardson. Sees it, hits it, one read, keeps it low, despite having another throw over the middle earlier in the game that we mentioned, right, to Pittman over the middle. He threw it too high. Nice to see him right there bring that ball down and get Pittman nice over the middle. Not quite as much traffic there, but a great rep nonetheless. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I don't know, to be honest, this is where my expertise ends. I don't know what was going on this side. I know that the play was designed to the left side, right? So you see a tight end release, I believe, because I watched this footage earlier. Mo Ali Cox right here. Mo Ali Cox looks like he's running a flag or something like that right here. This is where this play is supposed to go. You have these backside hitches just to hold everything down here. And presumably, I guess they're trying to find some space on the outside over here. They don't get it, or at least I can't tell if he's open based off the game footage. So I don't know. But Anthony Richardson comes back around, looks, sees in his mind nobody's open, comes back, looks to the backside. These are both Pierce and Pittman covered very well. Anthony Richardson makes the right decision to roll out right here. One thing you notice in this game is for a running quarterback, he does a great job of keeping his eyes down the field. Wanted to point that out for Richardson. Look, right here, boom. That's a nice throw by Richardson. These are the throws that people didn't think he could make. That's a hell of a throw. Helps that Drew Ogletree is ginormous, right? As we see Anthony Richardson put these balls high. All right, nice rep right there. He's good on these little play action RPO slant type deals. Here's one right here. Struggles with the ball handling. This is electric. This is why we have Anthony Richardson on the team. Awesome to see him moving like a locomotive. Here's one right here. I love this throw, even if it wasn't completed. Anthony Richardson has all the arm strength in the world. A lot of guys would have put this on a rope. To see him take something off this ball and make it a touch pass, back shoulder, whether or not that's completed, for me, for Anthony Richardson, this is an awesome rep trying to get the ball down the field. I really like that throw. Alec Pierce, at some point, as much as I like him and want to give him a chance, is going to have to make a play for these Indianapolis Colts, particularly if Anthony Richardson is going to keep targeting him the way he does. So, love that throw out of Richardson. Right here. Nice climb up. Not for anything. This is a hell of a play. Now, this, generally speaking, you don't want to be running out in one direction and then throwing it across your body over the middle. So, in terms of the optics, this is a scary looking play. But this throw, if you're ever going to do this right here, because this is not ideal, this throw is so low that this thing's either going into the dirt or Granson's going to snag it up like he did. So the throw is great, and it really made up for a relatively poor decision by Richardson, in my opinion. But that's a pretty dynamic play out of Richardson. Only an 8-yard gain in the box score, but that's something special. Right here. Bad play by Richardson. Just a bad play by Richardson all around. Look at how open Ogletree is. I don't know the exact play, but you have the route right here, and you have Pittman coming underneath. You have two levels going on here. You have the lower level and the upper level. Both guys stay on the lower level. Now, that being said, as I look at this gentleman only passed it because Richardson had essentially already made his decision. He stared Pittman down and probably even made his decision before the snap that he was going Pittman right here. He could go back and look at this rep and say, okay, with a little more patience, if I were to bring this guy down with my eyes and maybe turn towards Pittman just a little bit, now you could put this thing over the top to Drew Ogletree. This was a bad decision by Anthony Richardson right here. This is some of the bad. This is the lack of the experience. Let's see what we got going on here. Nice throw by Richardson. A little behind him on the run, but ultimately a completion. Sees this thing the right way. The flat isn't open. He goes to the second level. Nicely done. Nice catch by Michael Pittman. Anthony Richardson. Look at this. Look at this right here on 1st and 10. How open. I hope my mouse can be seen. He wants to get that one in there. Sure. And it really puts it on a rope. A nice throw. Look at how open this check down is. You have to take what they give you. There's nobody anywhere near. Is that Will Mallory? Is that Evan Hull? I can't tell with the motion. Look how much space he's got to take what the defense gives him right here. And he did not. Something to note. All right. Drops back. Listen. Basically just ran into the pressure right there. More or less. He's standing back here. He really should be okay. He steps up a little bit. He should be okay right here, standing in that pocket. Now, it's easier said than done, but when he looks back at this on tape, he's going to say, okay, I actually had time. He ended up running up into pressure. He really could have either pushed this outside or really sat in that pocket. I thought the line did a very good job of giving him pass protection throughout the course of this game. We talked about his poise, and we talked about how comfortable he was in the pocket last week. This week, as I said earlier, just a little more bouncing around. These are some of the inconsistencies we're going to see out of Anthony Richardson. Ultimately, made the right decision, but the decision was hampered by the fact, or at least made the right decision on the pass, hampered by the fact that he didn't feel the pocket the way he should have. Next play. Where are we? Where is he going to go with this? I don't even know. Where are you going to go with that? Let's try to give it a look. I'm watching this in real time. I suppose you have this on the backside right here. It's hard to see that. I mean, quite frankly, maybe if he makes this decision quick, he could put this thing right inside to Josh Downs. Did not do that. Runs out. Don't want to overanalyze a play like this, but he went to Josh Downs anyway. You figure that right off the bat, this will probably come with more timing together, more repetitions together. You figure right off this cut, he puts this thing in this pocket. This is open. I mean, this linebacker's back is to the play, right? So something to consider. This is an open play. This is a completion, by the way, that Garner Minshew gets to Josh Downs. Look, Anthony Richardson's about to be in his throwing motion. He's right. Throw it right there. Go. Did not do it. Again, just a lack of decisiveness out of Richardson in this game. No doubt the playmaking's special, and no doubt that he doesn't look like he's panicking. So there's some good in that front, but this is definitely a worse day, in my opinion, than he had in preseason week 1. Let's see what we have here. Richardson, boom. I mean, this is dynamic. Look at the way he's moving around. This is what you love to see. This is a fine rep. We'll take that. I don't know what was going on down the field, but if you're going to give me 12 yards, I don't technically care. Thank you, Anthony Richardson. Is this the one where he gripped it too much? No. Beautiful. Beautiful play. They're trying to go downfield. Look, as per usual, as we expect, here's Pierce on a break down the field. You have Richardson wants to go to Pierce as he normally does not force it like he did earlier in the game in the red zone. Remember I said that you had this gentleman over here open and he tried to thread it on a needle over the middle into the end zone? Look what he does here. He says, nope, not there. Hit the out. Nice timing. Great play. Love that rep out of Anthony Richardson. Take what they give him. Tom Brady made a career off of that. Richardson drops back. This is a monster throw. This is the throw of the night, if not for the one that was dropped by Josh Downs, which we'll get into. Look at this. Stands there, sees it. This is an incredible throw and catch, in all fairness. Let's give credit to the catch by Granson as well. That's an absolute laser. Oh, I screwed up. I'm not good at this, guys. I'm sorry. This is not normally what I do. Are we back where we're supposed to be? Let's see. No, we'll get there, though. I want to look at it a little bit more. What a run by our quarterback, right? I'm not sure how good this episode is coming across. Definitely an experiment on my part. So here we are at this throw. This is a killer throw. Not this one. That's a good decision. Killer throw comes next. Boom. Great throw. Probably could have hit Downs underneath, but this throw and catch is incredible. That's huge. Huge conversion by Richardson. They blitz him. Picked up relatively well by the line. This is a crazy play. I don't even know how he made that happen. Tell me what you think about that play right there. Do you think that's reckless? That toes the line between reckless and brilliant, and I don't know which one to call it on first watch. Well, not on first watch. I watched it yesterday, but as I'm watching it right now, I don't know what to call that. That's playmaking ability, though. This right here, more playmaking. Did what he can. Listen, Matt Ryan gets sacked and fumble on that play last year. I don't know how this happened. This is a blunder. He fakes the handoff, and he squeezes the ball. So what this is he's gripping the ball. These are throws he's been good on. This may have even been picked. I think he's gripping the ball too hard. All of a sudden realizes this guy is coming across number 40, holds up just enough to where this ball essentially just squeezes out of his hands. I mean, this was a blunder of a play. I think he saw that he was going to get intercepted, and it was just too late to let up on the throw. Got to put this ball lower to Deion Jackson. You got to put this ball lower to Deion Jackson. This is another case of Anthony Richardson going too high, and the inaccuracy is there. You just got to put that ball lower. Fine decision, but not a great throw. They blitz him here. Here's a monster throw to Josh Downs. Now, Anthony Richardson has an absolute cannon, but look at the pass protection here. Starting to get a little bit on the outside here. Look at Richardson step up, calm, feel it perfectly, see his guy, and put it in on a rope. Josh Downs has to make that catch, period. Now, does Anthony Richardson have so much mustard on this ball that it's harder to catch? Yeah, a lot of people that know Brett Favre and his receivers say, man, that guy really threw that ball hard. It would hurt my hands. So sometimes the throw power can work against you in the sense where you're not putting out the most catchable football, but you got to catch that as an NFL receiver. Josh Downs would like that one back. I could guarantee you that. That was a great throw by Richardson and a conversion. Just tries to get it downfield here. Fine. Put that outside shoulder. Don't underthrow it. No harm, no foul. Incomplete, but no chance of there being a turnover. We'll take that all day. Look at Pittman. Look at Pittman. Why aren't you throwing this ball? It's 2nd and 10. He's got to take this. Look. You're pushing these guys down the field. There's no one here. There's not anyone off camera. He's getting pushed down the field. And you have this linebacker on an island by himself. And look at how open Michael Pittman is. Right now, throw this ball. He does not. Give it to him. That, again, a lack of decisiveness by Anthony Richardson. These are going to be the days that we're going to get out of him. I mean, he ends up throwing it to double coverage just because he loves Alec Pierce. Pittman's right there, wide open. Drops back. Let's see it. That's a good throw. It's a good throw and decision. No one out there on the boundary. This goes to a greater point of when are we going to see Alec Pierce really make a play for us in this offense? They're giving him plenty of opportunities, and not that they're all perfect opportunities or wide open opportunities, but at the end of the day, at some point, if you're going to be a big-time receiver in this league, you got to make a play. So hopefully I did a halfway decent job of breaking that down, at least in terms of, let's see, boom. You catch my recommended videos right there. So hopefully I did a decent job of breaking that down. I'm not an expert, but I do know that there's people of many different levels that are watching this right now. So I know, listen, my qualifications are as followed. I played football from ages 5 all the way until senior year when I realized I had no chance at playing in college or the NFL, and I quarterbacked the 1-10 flag football team. So really not qualified at all. But, probably more qualified than the average person you find online at the grocery store. So that's kind of where I place myself. Hopefully that was like a decent breakdown of all of that type of stuff as far as other takeaways from the season or from the preseason. I like the fact that our corners, despite kind of a rocky start just a little bit in that game, Tanner McGee has great ball placement, so it was a good look for them no matter what. Now, that Philly's depth at receiver, really nothing to write home about. But it was nice to see our corners make that second unit look like a second unit, particularly when we have so much questions about that unit. I like that. I thought the starting offensive line really did a good job. I thought they did a great job in pass protection, and I thought that they were making quite enough space for these running backs to make sure that they could get down the field a few yards before they were getting hit. In terms of the receivers, I think they got to be better. I think Anthony Richardson has to be better for these receivers, and these receivers have to be better for Anthony Richardson. Both those things need to happen. It'll come with time, but that was probably, for me, one of the down days for Richardson. You still saw the talent, you still saw the playmaking, and he flashed and had some good throws in there, but you see some of the inconsistencies and the lack of experience come up in the tape that we just watched right there. Other than that, I mean, it's a preseason game. Next time we watch the Colts play football, it will be week 1 at home against Jacksonville. That is awesome. I'll try to get you another video this weekend, most likely. What will it be about? Well, maybe that's a surprise, right? And by surprise, I mean I don't know yet. So until next time, my name is Justin. This right here was the Ride in the Bench Colts cast. Go Colts.